The life of a former Alcorn State football player is cut short. Hear why his family wanted him to stay in Jackson. Well, it's been over 10 years since Hurricane Katrina, but some victims still don't have homes of their own. Well, now that's about to change. And there's only one guy you can call when it's Comic-Con in Mississippi. Hear what an original Ghostbuster has to say about the new movie coming out this year.
WJTV 12, getting you answers, starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Melanie Dodson. Alcorn State is mourning the loss of a former football player. Family members say someone shot wide receiver Tillette George in Alders, Louisiana. It happened Friday night, according to New Orleans Police Department. Officers found a man lying in the street with multiple gunshot wounds. Family members say that man was Tillette George. He was pronounced dead on the scene. George graduated from Alcorn in May.
This was one black man that went to school.
This was the third shooting in Alders in roughly 24 hours, and George's death was the second fatality on Friday. Tyler Griever will have more on this story later on in our show. Well, Vicksburg police are looking for a gunman after a shooting Thursday morning. We're told an unidentified black male was shot around 2:30 Thursday morning at Fredella Village Apartments. The victim was airlifted to UMC. No word yet on his condition. Captain Williams says this shooting is unusual because no family or friends have come to the hospital. Meanwhile, police are continuing their investigation. Well, Jackson police are investigating their latest homicide. It happened shortly after 11:30 Friday evening on University Boulevard near Cherry Street. Police say 4 men in a maroon car opened fire on a Lexus SUV. We're told shots hit the 3 men inside that Lexus. The driver, Paul Staples, got himself and the 2 other men to the hospital. He's in stable condition. William and Bobby Potts, who were also in the car, were shot in the chest. William Potts died shortly after getting to the hospital. At last check, Bobby Potts is in critical condition. Well, now, police are trying to figure out a motive. A 32-year-old is behind bars after a large amount of drugs are off the streets thanks to Operation Side by Side. Barkus Pryor was arrested at Cameron Park Apartments on Noble Street. We're told Hinds County deputies and Jackson police noticed a strong odor of marijuana and smoke coming from a car. Police say after talking with the driver, they recovered a kilogram of marijuana, about 200 Xanax pills, and a large amount of cash. They originally detained 2 people, but have since released the other person. Pryor faces charges of possession of marijuana with intent to distribute and possession of narcotics. Well, members and supporters of the LGBT community are gathering in downtown. They're celebrating Mississippi's Pride Weekend. WJTV's Candace Coleman spoke to organizers on why this year's event is so important.
Pride celebrations across the country.
As of right now, the law will go into effect July 1st unless Judge Reeves decides in favor of the plaintiffs. Well, while some in Mississippi are celebrating the first anniversary of the Supreme Court's decision legalizing same-sex marriage in the United States, opponents say it's fueling their plans to overturn the decision. 1 year ago, Jim Ogerfield was the plaintiff in a landmark Supreme Court decision legalizing gay marriage, same-sex marriage. His husband, John Arthur, died of ALS in 2013, 3 months after their wedding, which was not recognized by their home state of Ohio. Arthur's death certificate listed him as single until the Supreme Court ruling. Well, now several groups are working to overturn the ruling, saying the 5-4 decision was unconstitutional.
It takes it all back to the reason John and I started this fight.
Well, the march was actually supposed to be just a peaceful walk by just one man, James Meredith. In June of 1966, James Meredith set out to walk from Memphis to Jackson to show that there was nothing to fear as a black citizen of Mississippi. He was also encouraging blacks to register to vote. But on the second day into his walk, he was shot 3 times and hospitalized. That's when Dr. Martin Luther King and other civil rights leaders came to Mississippi to walk that walk, calling it the March Against Fear in James Meredith's honor.
The purpose was to exercise.
By the time the march got to Jackson area, 15,000 people were now participating, making it the largest civil rights march in the state's history. We'll have more on this March Against Fear as we celebrate its 50th anniversary tomorrow on WJTV at 10. Jackson fire officials are investigating a house fire. It happened just after 11 Friday evening on Hillside Drive. A neighbor caught this picture of the fire. She says the home has been abandoned for years. Firefighters were able to put the fire out within 30 minutes. We're told 2 homes were damaged because of the fire, but no one was injured. Well, it's been more than 10 years since Hurricane Katrina, but today some very happy residents are finally back in their own homes.